Maverick News presents The Rick Walker Show. Defrag your mind.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, I believe we have audio now. For some reason, the system lost contact or connection with the microphone. It appears to be corrected. I think I fixed it. Great to have everybody here. Welcome back to the Maverick News Channel tonight. Lots to dig into. Protests over Gaza all over the world. Everything is escalating. We'll take a look at what happened in Toronto today and talk a little bit about the protest that shut down that meeting between Justin Trudeau and Italy's Prime Minister. Also tonight, Donald Trump could get a decision on whether he'll be prevented from being on the ballot in the upcoming presidential election in a Supreme Court ruling, as it could come as early as tomorrow. So we'll touch on that tonight as well. Other news stories, well, we have people lining up to get a doctor in Canada. We have people lining up to get a house in Canada. We have Nikki Haley hanging on in her bid to secure the GOP nomination. It seems like a long shot, but who knows? Maybe tomorrow everything will change with what's going on with Donald Trump. So we have all that. Plus tonight, as promised, we will lighten things up a little bit with what I think we're going to call a new feature report. I think we're going to call it Truespiracies, where we dig into some of the tabloid stuff that's out there, some of which is true, some of it is a conspiracy. We'll touch on all of that and more when we come back right after this.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
The information war is raging. Truth without integrity is worth nothing. Maverick News. Because those who have power and those who seek it must be held accountable.
The world is watching.
Join our family of truth seekers. Donate today and add your voice to the chorus of Maverick Knights. Donate at maverickdonations.com. Truth. Integrity. It's the Maverick way. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Hamas, Israel, Gaza. Never has there been an issue that I've seen divide people in a more emotional way, in a more effective way, than this one. Tonight, everything is escalating. Protests all over the world. We saw yesterday chaos in Times Square, where a report of a grenade in a car, which was not detonated, thank goodness, brought police out, prompting an evacuation of people from Times Square. Tonight we have Vice President Kamala Harris calling for a ceasefire. She will meet tomorrow with Benny Gantz, a member of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's war cabinet. This information coming from the White House. The U.S. is continuing to push Israel for some sort of ceasefire agreement. As we said yesterday, they do seem to have some sort of agreement in place, but they need Hamas to approve it. Seems like the ball is in their court at the moment, and it does involve, as part of that arrangement, the release of some hostages. Hamas officials arrived in Cairo today for talks on a ceasefire and the hostage deal, a framework for which Israel agreed to in Paris. In late February, an Israeli official says that there was intense U.S. pressure on all sides to reach an agreement by the start of Ramadan, which is March 10th. And as we reported last night, Israel has essentially accepted the proposal of this Gaza ceasefire if Hamas agrees to release sick, elderly, and female hostages, according to senior U.S. administration officials. So this would be a more complicated ceasefire deal than the earlier ceasefire, because this would involve a longer period of time. But it's a 6-week deal, and then it has potential to be extended beyond that, apparently. As all this has been going on, the U.S. has now completed its first airdrop of humanitarian aid into Gaza. They dropped 66 pallets containing 38,000 meals. We are getting reports from the United States military that the Israeli military welcomed the drop, saying that it is... I'm sorry, I'm just checking my notes here. Some more stuff coming in. Okay, so we're going to show you some additional footage here of some protests up in Toronto, but that'll come along in just a moment. So yeah, 38,000 meals airdropped into Gaza, but as a result of these airdrops, we're getting accusations back and forth about deaths, attacks. Hamas saying that Palestinians were targeted by Israeli forces as the Palestinians were trying to get to the food aid and say that people were fired upon and many people were injured or killed. Israel saying that those reports are groundless. They say that they were firing some warning shots, that some people were shot, but that is because they were trying to attack a tank. What the truth is anymore, folks, very difficult to know, because we are in a state of war and we are getting extremely conflicted reports from both sides. And these death tolls, these casualty numbers coming out of Gaza are also being controlled by Hamas, which says that over 30,000 people now have been killed in Gaza and over 70,000 injured. But again, these are numbers coming from Hamas, so I don't know how accurate they are, but they're the only numbers being presented to the public, along with a never-ending stream of videos, social media posts, some of which is clearly true and some of which is suspect in terms of its context and accuracy, again, from all sides. And while all that is going on, last night, an event in Toronto where Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was to meet with Prime Minister Meloni of Italy was canceled because of a pro-Palestinian protest. And as you can see here, CBC in this report posting some images, so even mainstream media picking up on this, and I would say the CBC is more pro-Palestinian than probably any other media outlet in Canada. That would be my take on it. But here they are highlighting this. It's even a concern for the CBC, saying a Toronto event where Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was scheduled to host his Italian counterpart was cancelled Saturday evening due to security concerns as hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters gathered outside the venue. So the PM, both of them, were unable to get into the building. It was at the Art Gallery of Ontario. It went into lockdown because of the protests. Police say there were about anywhere between 200 and 300 protesters outside. Police under heavy criticism today because this was allowed to happen. Blocking access, preventing an event between Trudeau and another world leader from taking place. It has actually become an international incident. Canada does still list Hamas as a terrorist group and has repeatedly said that Israel has the right to defend itself, but Ottawa has also been calling for a ceasefire in the conflict. Now, related to that, we had today, and this was just sent in, an anti-Israel protest outside a synagogue in Toronto, with critics of this demonstration saying it was meant to harass those who went to the synagogue to attend an anti-Jewish protest. I can show you here. So this is right outside a synagogue. all of these protests seem to be getting larger. We have these things happening, not even just on weekends, but almost on a daily basis. I would say on a daily basis at this point. And this was in Thornhill, Ontario. Things are getting dangerous. This one guy, you'll see at first I thought it might be a gun, but it isn't like a gun. It appears to be a nail gun or a battery-operated staple gun, a Milwaukee brand staple gun, I believe, or nail gun. Maybe he was putting up posters. At first I was very concerned. It looked like he was pointing a gun at somebody, but that doesn't actually appear to be the case. So this turned pretty ugly.
How dare you? Why are you doing that? You two shot that at me, and you shot it at another guy. Who the hell are you? Don't do that, guys. Call the cops. Call the cops.
Things are escalating. This video out of Gaza shows an Egyptian humanitarian aid truck which crashed. The report says, and I'm just conveying the report, that the driver of the truck was killed and then the truck was looted as people ran over and just started grabbing stuff from the rig. I don't know all of the details on this. And again, this appears to be very authentic, but full context, impossible to know. As we sit over here tonight and take this material in, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here it is. Why the truck crashed, I'm not sure. Whether it was the driver veered off the road because of being blocked by a crowd or something. Don't have all the details, but again, just an illustration of how everything is spiraling, I would say, out of control, honestly. So police will be investigating that incident in Toronto where the event between Justin Trudeau and Giorgia Meloni, Italy's prime minister, was supposed to take place last night. So they'll see if there was anything illegal done, but very little. In fact, I don't think police even had much of a presence, if any, there, as they forced the building to go into lockdown. Liberal MP Marco Mendicino called on police to enforce the law following Saturday's protest. He says the demonstrators are anti-Semitic. He went on and said that the location was not secure and that their objective, they don't want their fellow Canadians to feel safe. He said in a series of posts today on X, he says, you break the law, you should be arrested, charged, and prosecuted. These thugs think they scored a win last night, but all they did was lose public support and embarrass themselves. Time for the madness to stop. Yet I would say that it is the Liberal government's policies, honestly, that have taken us to this point. And as the government ramps up new legislation on censorship and hate speech laws, it makes you wonder, because they're not even enforcing the laws that they have on the books. Or at least they're not enforcing them in an even-handed way. So that's Canada. And over in the U.S., protesters in San Francisco did this, which, I don't know, this is pretty concerning to me. I don't like it when I see this, but maybe you think it's okay, maybe you don't. Replacing the U.S. flag with a Palestinian flag? They tore down the U.S. flag and replaced it with a Palestinian flag. And this was Detroit today. Resistance is justified when people are occupied. That's what they were chanting. And this was Glasgow. Yesterday, I believe.
Free, free! Palestine! 1, 2, 3, 4! Occupation no more! 5, 6, 7, 8! Palestine! Palestine! Palestina! Palestina! Hands off Gaza! Hands off Rafah! Hands off Gaza!
I called the, tonight's thumbnail for some of the channels is Gaza Mania. Why Gaza Mania? Just because the world seems to be going insane and we're seeing such mass protests on both sides. This is Toronto again. Just a little earlier today. And this was the situation, as I mentioned earlier, in New York, where police were responding to that bomb threat.
Let's go. Just back up on the sidewalk. Back up on the sidewalk. Back up on the sidewalk, please, all right? back up on the sidewalk, all
I'm
right?
allowed to observe what's happening. If y'all talk to your own legal, department, they know that we are allowed to be places that protesters are not. So if y'all.
All right. So let's just take a break. Be right back.
Maverick News. Fighting for freedom.
So yeah, there was also an incident in Toronto today where a pro-Palestinian protester appeared to, well, there was an incident. It looked like somebody spat at somebody, and then a pro-Palestinian protester was confronted by police. There was an attempt made to make an arrest. It looked like the protester actually may have even assaulted the officer. It's just it's Sunday. That's what goes on in Canada on a Sunday. People shooting other people with nail guns, protesters assaulting police, events being shut down by protesters so that foreign dignitaries are not able to meet with the Prime Minister. The American flag being replaced with the Palestinian flag. You know, it's Sunday. The day after Saturday, where we saw a New York Police Department car which was responding to a call about a grenade in an Uber that was prevented from getting where it needed to go by a swarm of protesters in Times Square. But a dozen people taken into custody there. That was Saturday. Happened like 4 p.m. This was near 42nd Street and 7th Avenue. Police were there in riot gear. Yeah. Here's Channel 7 ABC reporting on that. Give you an MSM perspective on this incident in Times Square. Here we go.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Torres. We begin in Manhattan, where thousands marched today through the streets and called for a ceasefire in Israel. Demonstrators blocked traffic all the way from 34th Street to Bryant Park. Police made arrests after some of those demonstrators blocked officers responding to a bomb threat that turned out to be fake. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo.
Watch as a police vehicle tries to make its way to a bomb threat, crawling through a mob of protesters in the pouring rain. Then, more than just the weather got ugly. Police in riot gear try to move them out of the way. It escalates to pushing and shoving, and protesters knocked to the ground. You can see the mob converge in this different piece of video. NYPD Deputy Commissioner Kaz Daughtry posting to X, "Happy Saturday to all, except the people who thought it was a good idea to block an NYPD ESU vehicle on the way to a bomb threat call. They'll be spending their Saturday where they belong, in jail." It was around 4 this afternoon. Police struggled to get to 42nd Street and 7th Avenue, where an Uber driver just dropped off a passenger and found a grenade in the back seat. The bomb squad later determined it was an inactive novelty grenade, but the police response during pure chaos.
Down, down with occupation.
What started as a pro-Palestine rally drawing thousands to Washington Square Park evolved into a march. The repeated calls for a permanent ceasefire come as Israel endorses a 6-week pause in Gaza, along with the release of hostages by Hamas, which now has to agree to it according to U.S. officials. The U.S. joining other countries in airdropping food and aid.
People are so desperate that innocent people got caught in a terrible war, unable to feed their families.
Israeli drone video shows thousands surging toward aid trucks Thursday. Israeli troops opened fire on the crowd. The IDF says they were only warning shots until people got too close to one of their tanks. But survivors dispute that, saying they were attacked and they don't have any food.
Now, at least 10 children in the Gaza Strip have starved to death, according to the UN. The Biden administration pushing for a ceasefire before the holy Muslim month of Ramadan. Back here at home, police say 11 protesters were taken into custody during today's demonstration.
So the U.S. dropping food aid. But things are just have deteriorated to such a point that it's just exasperating. We'll move on to other stories when we come back.
Fighting the Great Reset. By leading the Great Resistance. Maverick News. The antivirus programs for your mind.
Here's a story for all my friends in the United States who want socialized health care. This is out of Kingston, Ontario tonight. I just find this. People lining up to get a family doctor. Did I lose it? No, here it is. Here we go. Hundreds of people lining up, hoping to be one of the lucky ones to get a family doctor. Hundreds line up outside Kingston Clinic in desperate bid for family doctor. Oh, the Canadian healthcare system, we need a system just like Canada. And every time I talk about this, I get attacked. People say that I'm lying. I see people from the U.S. just telling me I'm full of crap. All right, think what you want. Don't believe your lying eyes. These pictures are all fake. It's just a big lie. Yeah, they're lined up for groceries, okay? No, they're there because they desperately need a family doctor and they can't get one. Right here, hundreds of people desperate to find a family physician lined up overnight outside a Kingston, Ontario medical clinic this week in what many are calling a clear sign of the serious doctor shortage in the region. No kidding. On February 22nd, the CDK Family Medicine and Walk-in Clinic announced 4 physicians would start taking on as many as 4,000 new patients at the clinic. Some 30,000 residents are currently without a family doctor in Kingston. 30,000 in that one community Kingston ain't that big. During rostering days held last week, prospective patients were asked to line up outside the clinic to be seen on a first-come, first-served basis. On Wednesday, the line was cut off after the first 100 people. I keep telling people, keep telling you, you and my American friends, be careful what you ask for. And then it gets into a personal story to kind of put a personal edge on this and a personal perspective. And they just talk about the situation. It's similar in just about every city across the country, folks. Lineups to try and get a family doctor. That's just to have access to a family doctor. I don't have a family doctor. Haven't had one for years. My doctor quit. Got fed up with the system. Now he's just a landlord now. And he's much happier. My other doctors, one retired. I got another one. She moved on. Healthcare in Canada, it's hanging by a thread. Yeah, all right. I'm afraid to look in the chat. I'm going to get attacked because I've attacked the sacred healthcare cow again. You know, I did a whole healthcare series years ago comparing the U.S. and Canadian healthcare systems. I did another series about healthcare as well. I videotaped my own operation when I went down to the States. That was put up for an award, and I knew I would not win because it was somewhat critical of the Canadian system. And you don't win awards in Canada with ports that criticize the Canadian healthcare system, especially when you're in the mainstream media. Oh my goodness, was I a black sheep in the mainstream media or what? They did not know what to do with me. Yeah, no, I didn't win. It was submitted, though, by the news director that I had at the time, which was an honor in itself. So I'll take that. But yeah, you don't do that kind of thing in Canada. I do it here, though, because nobody's got a leash on me here. Wow. What else do we have for you tonight before we get into Truespiracies? I've had enough showing you. There's more. There are many, many more protests I could show you. There's another one in LA, New York today. Big one in New York today, another huge one. You know, they all look the same. Vienna. Where else? Portland, Oregon. All over the place. All right. That's kind of where Nikki Haley says she's no longer bound by the Republican Party pledge to endorse Donald Trump if he wins. She was on Meet the Press today. It is Sunday, where she told moderator Kristen Welker, quote, "So you're no longer bound by that pledge?" And then Haley responded that she was not obligated to endorse President Trump if he becomes the Republican nominee. She says, quote, "No, I think I'll make what decision I want to make, but that's not something I'm thinking about," she said, noting that if you talk about an endorsement, you're talking about a loss. I don't think like that. Then she added, when you're in a race, you don't think about losing, you think about continuing to go forward. Let's just get a little clip out of this. And Super Tuesday coming up here. All right, let's bring this up. Just play a little clip from this NBC exchange. And Super Tuesday coming right up. So after this, if Trump succeeds the way we expect him to, that could be the final nail in Nikki Haley's political coffin. But we'll see. We will see. Check this out.
Think you have a shot at the nomination, or is it slipping away, Ambassador?
No, I think we push hard. I think we fight. You're going to have 16 states and territories that are voting on Tuesday. And so a lot of people's voices are going to be heard. And that's what this has all been about. You've only had 3 or 4 states that have voted up until now. We're a big country, and we want everybody to feel like they had the opportunity to vote for someone and not just against someone. And I think that's the biggest thing we hear is people are so desperate for normal. And that's what we want to give them is normal.
Let's talk about Super Tuesday. If you wake up on Wednesday and you haven't won anywhere, and that's an if, would you then need to make the decision that it's time to drop out of the race?
I've always said this needs to be competitive. As long as we are competitive, as long as we are showing that there is a place for us, I'm going to continue to fight. That's always been the case.
Would you see yourself as competitive if you didn't win on Super Tuesday, any state?
Well, usually y'all are the ones that decide what's competitive and what's not. So, y'all decided whether I was competitive in Iowa or New Hampshire or South Carolina. So we're going to continue to just keep pushing through. I don't look too far ahead. I look at what do the American people want. If 70% of Americans say they don't want Donald Trump or Joe Biden, that's not a small number. If 30 to 40% of all these early states have said they want to vote for the direction of where we want to take the country, that's not a small number. And so that's why we continue to push forward.
But would it be tough for you to make the argument to stay in this race if you don't win anywhere on Super Tuesday?
Well, first, let's see what happens on Super Tuesday. I don't like to look at what ifs or hypotheticals. I think we always have to live in the moment. They didn't think we'd make it to Iowa, and we came 1% from second. They said we were going to be 30 points down in New Hampshire. We got 43%. They didn't think that it would be between me and Trump in the end, and it is. So I think we just keep going and looking and saying, what else can we do? How many more people can we touch? And what message can we continue to give?
Based on what you're saying, Ambassador, are you prepared to stay in this through the convention? Is that your plan?
If the people want to see me go forward, they'll show it. They'll show it in their votes. They'll show it in their donations. They'll show it in the fact that they want us to continue to go forward. This is about really trying to get everyone to realize that this primary isn't between Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. Yes, on the ballot, that's what you see. This primary is, what is the direction of the Republican Party? Are we going to go where you had Donald Trump, he grew government, he didn't reduce the size of government, he put us $8 trillion in debt in just 4 years, more than any other president, and you're seeing a Republican Party follow him into that wasteful spending, not talking about fiscal discipline. This is about Donald Trump, who believes that you should be more of an isolationist, that America doesn't need friends. That's his focus. My focus is we need to start respecting taxpayer dollars. We need to reduce the size of government. We need to put those resources more in the hands of the people. We need to start focusing on getting our kids reading again. We need to secure our borders and be a country of law and order. And we believe in peace through strength, which means our focus is to prevent war. That's two very different Republican parties.
You're laying this out in very stark terms. It's
Okay. I think the writing's on the wall. I'm not sure what she's doing, why she's still hanging around. The only thing I can think of is maybe someone is telling her, just hang in there. Trump will be disqualified somehow, and you'll be the last candidate standing. It will be yours. It's the only thing I can think of. And then tomorrow, we could have that Supreme Court ruling. on whether Trump will be allowed on the ballot or not. Maybe that's the silver bullet she's looking for to kill the Trump run. I don't know, but I don't see that happening. Personally, I think he's just an unstoppable force at this point. He's going to get that nomination. I think that it will be a repeat of the Biden versus Trump contest. And in the end, my prediction, I think Trump's going to win. Either way, though, you have a country that's deeply divided. I think you're going to see a country on fire between now and Election Day, between now and next November, especially over the summer. This is going to be the most volatile and probably the most consequential presidential election in American history. When we come back, Truespiracies, the premiere episode. Be right back.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
The information war is raging. Truth without integrity is worth nothing. Maverick News. Because those who have power and those who seek it must be held accountable.
The world is watching.
Join our family of truth seekers. Donate today and add your voice to the chorus of Maverick Knights. Donate at maverickdonations.com. Truth. Integrity. It's the Maverick way. Maverick News. The world is watching.
We're back. So we did do that episode, 2 or 3 weeks ago, where I was reading from the pages of a tabloid, The Globe. I picked up a new copy of The Globe today. And I'd been thinking of launching, I was thinking of launching a new, maybe a whole show, but certainly a segment, a feature segment that we might do sort of once a week, where we look into Truespiracies. That would be conspiracies, and then determine if they're true or fake. And celebrity news, which honestly I don't like to touch on, but in the way that it's covered in these tabloids, I think it's sometimes entertaining. So it's all light stuff. It's entertainment. And with the strange headlines that we get these days in our mainstream media news or daily news, the stuff that we cover here, I mean, I don't see a lot of difference between this stuff and the stuff that's just in the daily news grind. In fact, some of this stuff seems more normal. Nikki Haley referring to normal in her interview. What the heck is normal? Well, I don't know, man. The Globe, the National Enquirer, Weekly World News, all of these things. What's normal anymore? What's normal? Well, there's a lot of abnormal out there. You know, here's a story we're going to get into about King Charles and his health. And then overnight, I received an email from one of our regular viewers asking about King Charles, the monarchy. Might get into that another night. It's more serious. It's a constitutional question. So anyway, I just thought we'd take another stab at this tonight. We'll give this another run, but this time we'll put a little branding on it to distinguish it from our regular news coverage, which might be even more bizarre than what you are about to witness on this first installment of Truespiracies. Welcome to Truespiracies on this Sunday evening, where we're going to review, first of all, headlines from the Globe. This is news you can really trust. Oh yes, King Charles bets life on quack cancer cures. Proof Trump dodged the draft. Why he hates military heroes. This is the one that I'm really looking forward to. Jen Aniston, nip tuck nightmare. She's unrecognizable. Her whole face has been rearranged. Leah Remini's Scientology stalker hell. I love the headlines. I love the writing. It's so sensational. This is news that's so true. It's unbelievable. Starting in this edition of The Globe, they have the week's best celebrity picks. I used to pick these things up every once in a while when I used to go to the barber, and I would read them in the barber shop. The hairstylist, whatever. They used to have barber shops. I did actually used to go to a barber, like an actual barber, like for men in this town. Used to go, or was it? I'm mixing up my cities, or was it in Windsor? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Went there for a while. It was a different experience than going to like a hair salon. But I got a manly haircut at that barber shop. Anyway, that's another story. But that's where I used to read these things. But I don't go to the barber anymore. I cut my own hair. And that's true news. That's the other thing. You know, I've been criticized by some people lately. It's come to my attention that there is an unusual focus on my hair. What is it with my hair? Why is everybody worried about my hair? People criticize my hair is just too darn perfect. I cut my own hair. It's true. I don't even know what a haircut costs anymore because I do it myself. I've been doing it myself for a long time. It's just I got tired of going to the barber, hairstylist, and just having them use the clippers on me when I can just do it at home. So I save the money and I save the time. Now, if you want me, hey, I could open my own barber shop. So if ladies, if you want a really manly cut, I'm your guy. I can cut your hair. You'll look just like me. Oh! All right, let's get into these awesome celeb pics. Sigourney Weaver says here, alien actress. Now, does that mean that Sigourney Weaver is an alien? Oh, no, she was in the movie of the same name. Although, with the way she's aged, you might think otherwise. You might think that she's could be mistaken for an alien. Look at, is that an alien she's hugging there? Is that, what is that? That's a bust of a something because she was at the Goya Awards. Oh, she's so happy she got a Goya. She had a close encounter with her Lifetime Achievement Prize at the Goya Awards. That's a close encounter of the Goya kind. They're mixing up their movies, by the way. You know, that Alien was not Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I think they've got some young kids writing these captions. Alive and kicking, MMA legend Chuck Liddell? I don't know who that is. I don't watch too much UFC. Left the UFC's octagon behind, but he's still kicking up a fuss. There he is, right there, kicking up a fuss. And then Terry Hatcher. Oh, she was a great Lois Lane. I really liked her in Lois and Clark. Preening Terry Hatcher dolls up with fluffy feathers, but the desperate housewife is still an old bird. Well, she don't look that old to me. What do you think? Now this one's really good. These it gets better. All right. Growl play. Boogie Nights beauty Julianne Moore shows her ugly side as she scowls on the streets of Spain. I'm gonna hide this one because this one's a highlight. But there she is, Julianne Moore. Right. Ooh. Do you remember the Boogie Nights movie that had Burt Reynolds in it? Clearly, they are directing this at old people like me because I remember all these films, which they're pretty old now. These films. This is the best one. This is the best one to find. Now, they've got Elton John here on the bottom. Sad songs, Rocket Man, Elton John isn't ready for blast off as he leans on a walking stick and hubby David Furnish. Whatever. If he wants to go in and be a Rocket Man, why didn't, what's his face there, Jeff Bezos, take Elton John up in his flying dildo? Why was it only William Shatner? See, they should have done Elton John and William Shatner in the flying phallus. Bugging out. Now, this is the best one. This is Billy Joel. Rocker Billy Joel is a startling sight with his protruding peepers. What is that? There's Elton John, Rocket Man. And there's Billy Joel with his protruding peepers. What would cause that? Someone must have been squeezing him someplace. I don't know. Sly Dog George scores with cuddly gift. George Clooney. Mark's wife's 46th birthday with a puppy. Hunky George Clooney has some big competition on the home front, as the Silver Fox's wife, Amal, is seriously smitten with the new St. Bernard puppy she got for her 46th birthday. Yeah, you wait until that dog grows up and jumps on you in bed and crushes you like my dog did this morning. And he's a fraction of the size of what this thing's going to be. There's George Clooney with their new cuddly St. Bernard. Lenny and Lisa explore second marriage. Oh, Lenny Kravitz. More than 30 years after their divorce, rocker Lenny Kravitz is still carrying a torch for Lisa Bonet, according to insiders who shall remain nameless. why don't they ever name their sources? I can't imagine why. Who say their actress daughter Zoe and Lisa's second ex-husband Jason Momoa are pressuring the pair to give marriage a second go-round. The 59-year-old flyaway singer and former A Different World sitcom star Lisa Bonet, 56 years old now, ended their 6-year marriage in 1993, and in 2017, Lisa got hitched to Aquaman hunk Momoa before splitting in 2020. Do these people never stay together? What is it with celebrities? They change marriages like people change their underwear. But instead of clashing, Kravitz and Momoa, 44, are pals who refer to each other as brothers. Brothers? And Momoa's children with Lisa, daughter, whatever. Are they going to get back to, are they going to get hitched again or what? Zoe tells her folks she still thinks they are a match made in heaven, and even Jason says he would be happy, not jealous, if they gave it another try. Well, we'll have to keep our eyes on that one because I really care. Super duper care a lot. Daughter tells Travolta to start dating. Doesn't want her old dad to be alone. John Travolta, his daughter Ella Blue Travolta, is, according to sources who shall remain nameless, his daughter is urging Johnny to start dating again. He was married to Kelly Preston, who was charming beyond belief. And what a lucky guy he was to have her. And then, of course, she passed away from cancer a few years ago. So now his daughter, who I guess is getting ready to move out of the house, according to sources who shall remain nameless, doesn't want her dad to be alone, so she wants him to find his, get this, his daughter wants her dad to find his old Saturday Night Fever and start dating again. She doesn't care if he gets hitched, doesn't have to get married or anything like that. She just wants him to go out and, I guess, maybe get lucky once in a while. Says it'd be really nice if he could at least find somebody to have dinner with. But John Travolta, I don't know, it looks like maybe he's wising up, staying home, and not getting too involved with the drama. Britney Spears, over my dead body. Britney plays hardball as dad demands cash. Oh yeah, that's an ongoing dispute, isn't it? Just rages on. This battle between her and her dad, this has been going on for decades. Britney Spears' desperately sick dad, Jamie, is trying to shake her down for more money, according to sources who say the bitter pop tart, that's what they wrote here, it's not me, it's them, would rather go flat broke than hand him another dime. Jamie, 71, who had his leg amputated in November after an infection, filed court documents accusing his daughter of using tactics that would delay their trial set for June. Anyway, the whole story's in the Globe. She's like, I don't care if you had your leg chopped off, Dad. I don't care. I'm not giving you any more money. I don't know how much money he got from her or whatever in previous settlements, but he had that trust fund or whatever set up when she was younger. And do you remember, oh my God, do you remember what it was that made Britney Spears really, really famous? What really kind of got her going? It was the oops, I did it again thing, right? I remember years ago when she was still young, she could only have been maybe 16. Still comes up in the search. Let's take a look. And that's when record stores were still around, and the big posters of her. And at the time I was thinking, even back then it was like, I just thought it was way too risque for someone of her age. Everything I'm seeing here now is like her performing Oops, I Did It Again as, the more mature, older Britney Spears. But she was really, really young when that song came out. See if I can find the old poster of her that they would have up. There it is right there. There. Baby One More Time. And what's with the snake thing? Is that satanic or something? Like, I don't get the snake. Well, maybe I do. I hate snakes. Serpents, man. Ugh. Hate them. I just hate them. When I was younger, I wasn't so squeamish around them or whatever. I wasn't afraid of them at all, but now they give me the heebie-jeebies in my adulthood. Don't like heights anymore either. I was never afraid of heights before, but I'm not keen on them now. I think as I get older, I get a little wiser and more in tune with my mortality. Kim and Beyonce tag team Taylor. Well, now, doesn't that sound risque? Catty Divas finds Swift nauseating. Oh, I think there's a cat fight brewing here. Vindictive vixens Kim Kardashian and Beyonce are ganging up on Taylor Swift to bring the soaring bad blood songbird down to earth. Insiders squeal, who shall remain nameless. Once catty rivals, bubble-bottomed Kim and the hip-hop honey, who writes this, have now joined forces with a common focus of taking Taylor down a notch. Dishes a tipster, who shall remain nameless. They're both sick to death of how overexposed she is and how she orchestrates every detail of her public life and then plays it off like it's out of her control. They both find it nauseating, the tipster said, who shall remain nameless. So they fight, they get headlines, they get lots of free publicity. Draft dodger Trump, jealous of hero vets. I don't think the Globe likes Trump. They don't like him. We're going to have to get the National Enquirer for the next episode because you have to balance it off. The Enquirer has always been sort of pro-Trump, I think. Haven't read the Enquirer in a long time. Probably not since I was at the barber shop. Shrinks insist attacks on military are fueled by the knowledge he lacked nerve to serve. Who writes this? Oh my God, candidate Donald Trump's repeated attacks on American military heroes, like the Army officer, husband of GOP presidential rival Nikki Haley, former POW Senator John McCain, and war-crippled veterans are an attempt to distract from his own shameful cowardice when he chickened out of serving his country by falsely claiming he was unfit for duty because of a minor medical condition. Political insiders, who shall remain nameless, and medical experts, who shall remain nameless, claim. Shrinks say... Shrinks. When I was working in the mainstream media, if I ever referred to psychiatrists or psychologists as shrinks, I probably would have been fired on the spot. Shrinks say Trump's childish mocking of combat vets, branding servicemen who died in battle as losers and suckers, that's old, and not really in full context, is driven by deep-seated feelings of inadequacy because of the brash former president knows he's yellow! ! Now Globe has uncovered the explosive truth from newly unsealed selective service records. Selective service records. Presidential physical reports and damning testimony revealing the spoiled rich kid dodged the draft 5 times during the Vietnam conflict, and his deferment for bone spurs on his feet was a lie concocted by a bought and paid for podiatrist. Here's some sort of a document that they claim is authentic, with signatures and stuff on it. Looks all pretty darn official. See down there in the bottom? Anyway, you can read all about it in the Globe. Because he's jealous of hero vets. I don't know if he's afraid. Why is he running for president? It seems like everybody's got it out for him. Even Tucker Carlson is saying he expects them to try and kill him. And he's still running, so he can't be too much of a chicken. He's got a big target on him, that's for sure. Jessica and Ashley's Surgical Sister Act. The Simpsons. The Simpsons sisters. Pop-Tart. Jeez. Oh, man. Like, let's not mince the words, right? Like, let's just be, oh, God, Pop-Tart. Oh, you little tart. Pop-Tart Jessica Simpson's been going under the knife for cosmetic surgery, and her kid sister Ashley is in full copycat mode according to Showbiz insiders, who are branding the new Barbie twins, or branding them the new Barbie twins, rather, because they want to look like perfect dolls. The frame-craving sisters are no strangers to plastic surgery, with 43-year-old Jessica revealing in her new memoir, Open Book, she got 2 tummy tucks. Wow, now that's news you need to know. In 2015, to reboot her bod after having 2 of her 3 babies. Meanwhile, Ashley, 39 years old, refuses to deny buzz about a 2006 nose job. And now sources say she's on another sly nip-tuck spree. Well, now that's stuff you gotta know, man. You gotta know who's got nipped and who got tucked. Because that's important. Like, I mean, what happened to Jen Aniston's face? Like, what? How cruel can you be? What happened to Jen Aniston's face? It got rearranged. Sitcom queen Jennifer Aniston's gorgeous puss has been savaged by plastic surgery, according to experts and shocked fans who say nip tucks have left the former TV beauty looking like a weird, unrecognizable freak. Oh, they're brutal. These people writing this stuff, they must not like her at all. And doctors tragically insisting it can't be fixed. I'm sorry, Jen. We rearranged your face and we just can't fix it. I'm sorry that your nose is where your left eye used to be. The 55-year-old Friends legend went under the knife to freshen up her mug to nab a fat paycheck for an Uber Eats Super Bowl ad with her old co-star, David Schwimmer, but the results left fans gasping in horror. Oh my God! They were all sitting there watching the Super Bowl commercial, eating their chips and drinking their beer. John comes, Jennifer Aniston, and it was like a chorus of upchucking nationwide. And Johnny sent me this cup. He mailed it all the way from Toronto. It says Scotiabank on it. Got a Toronto Maple Leafs logo. I don't know if you bought it at Scotia at the where did you get this from? Scotiabank. If you got it at the arena, you probably paid like $100 for this thing or something. He gave it to me so I can put pens in it. So I told him I'd put it right by the monitor. I did that, but he did not send it with beer in it, which is fine because I don't drink. But now I'll have something to drink for the next Super Bowl just in case Jen Aniston's face comes up on the screen. I don't have to be drunk and I can upchuck. Jesus. Well, this is terrible. This is terrible. How can you talk about people like this? I guess I just did. I don't think she looks that bad. This is before and after, I guess? Yeah. So look, this ain't so bad. It's not so bad. Like, I don't see her nose on her eyeball or anything. Like, there's the before. Oops. Right there. And then the big one is the after shot. Right here. What do you think? I'm telling you, this before shot, the then picture, that's when she was younger, and it's all Photoshop, man, to make her look nice. It's all blurred out and Gaussian filter on it and stuff. And then this one up here, they're just making, this is ridiculous. I think she's fine. Don't you worry, Jen. I got your back. Creepy Kanye's odd lip lump. Now this guy, talk about a freak. Jeez. He got his veneers, eh? This dude. Look, there's Kanye's teeth. He looks like, what was that guy, the guy from the James Bond movie? With the steel teeth? Anyway, creepy Kanye's odd lip lump. What do you expect, man? Attention! Craving Kanye West has been showing off his blingy $850,000 titanium dentures. But what people are really buzzing about is the bizarre lump on his upper lip that has some experts wondering if it's the sexually transmitted disease herpes. Fans noted the growth as the disgraced 46-year-old rapper has been slammed for his hateful remarks about blacks and Jews. Flashed his metallic smile while strutting through an airport with wife Bianca Sensori, 29 years old. Genital herpes and oral herpes are passed during, cover your ears. If you're a kid, can't listen to this. Or if you're just, sensitive to this kind of thing. During, okay, you ready? All right. You can come back in 30 seconds. During vaginal, oral, or I'm not even saying it. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. Nope. Enough of that story. Okay, the whole thing with those stupid... Okay? Kanye, that makes you look like a freak, whether you are or not. $850,000. Ridiculous. Why don't you do something nice with the money? Do something good for somebody. $850,000 for your veneers? Give me a break. Celebrity buzz. Hollywood's inside scoop. Valerie's afraid of scales. Valerie Bertinelli. Oh, man, the old Jenny Craig spokesgal Bertinelli is tired of unrealistic body standards. She's just given up. She's just given up. The One Day at a Time star. And what else has she been on? I haven't really followed her since then. And then she married Eddie Van Halen, then got divorced. Anyway, she's 5'4" and 150 pounds now. The ousted host of Valerie's Home Cooking shared a 2014 photo of her soaking up the sun, whatever, blah, 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 in a bikini. Anyway, she just doesn't care anymore, I guess. So much for Jenny Craig. Valerie Bertinelli is going to just pack on the pounds and not care anymore. What other headlines here? We'll just kind of skim over some of this other stuff. Hanging loose. Falling Down's Michael Douglas earns his SAG card with dreadfully droopy skin. No nips and tucks there. That's just gravity. Vanderpump Tom's fight to save Barr. Jason Alexander has zero taste. Baldy Jason Alexander, 64, says there was no way the Seinfeld pilot was going to be picked up, so after filming the episode, he flew back to New York City to be in a Broadway show. Jason insists he was surprised when the show, about nothing, got the green light, because all he was really after was a trip to Hollywood. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Fashion verdict. Okay. Da, 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 da. Georgina Chapman, Heather Dubrow, Parker Posey, Virginia Madsen. This is where they get to just rip or compliment these celebrities with a score. See, if I did this, I would be accused of being sexist. Georgina Chapman, 5 out of 10 for this dress. Right there. Heather Dubrow, Parker Posey, 4 out of 10. This is the worst one, Virginia Madsen. We're not hooked. The sideways waitress serves up a look that fails to flatter her bod. 1 out of 10. Worst dress of the week. Whatever. This is all celebrity stuff. This globe is not as good as the last one we had. But here's a real story that is hard to believe, but it is actually true news. I can tell you that. This is like terrible crime stuff. Numbskull, I hate the headlines. Numbskull bought stolen body parts. Ghoul traded bones. Oh my God. This is like disturbing beyond belief. So again, if you are like shocked, this is true. A twisted tattoo artist has pleaded guilty to buying, selling, and trading human body parts like at some sicko swap meet, and has even admitted to bagging a stillborn baby in return for 5 human skulls. This guy's name, Matthew Lampy, exchanged about $100,000 in online payments with supplier Jeremy Pauley, who last month pleaded guilty to an abusive corpse charge. He'd been swept up, along with Pauley, in the shocking Harvard morgue scandal, where from 2018 to 2022, a cabal of creeps stole and sold off human remains and sold off heads, brains, skin, and bones, earmarked for research as donations to Harvard Medical School. I did mention that in our regular newscast. And as sick and crazy as that seems, it's not a conspiracy, it's true. Sorry to tell you that. Dying King Charles, desperate gamble, betting it all on quack homeopathic cancer cures. Cancer-stricken King Charles is under the care of a royal doctor accused of being a quack. And the manic monarch is desperately fighting for his deadly disease with unproven folk remedies that could do more harm than good, reveal stunned palace sources, who shall remain nameless. So we don't know what kind of treatments he's undergoing. I'll tell you this, he'll have access to a family doctor. Not like all those people lined up in Kingston, Ontario today. And then they rip Huckster Harry. Huckster Harry's mercy flight was a shameless stunt. King's inner circle trashes cynical son. Just more anti-monarchy stuff. Prince Harry's quickie trip to his estranged father, King Charles's side, after the monarch was diagnosed with killer cancer, is being branded a cynical PR stunt by a rogue royal fanatic to repair the economic damage caused by his ugly family feud. Palace courtiers tell Globe the Duke of Sussex spent far more time in the air during a 26-hour round trip from California to London than he did in his dad's presence. A mere 30 minutes that apparently didn't go very well. Yeah. And then I did receive that message overnight too, asking me what I thought about a video that was sent, kind of calling out the monarchy and the former queen for not calling out the former queen for approving legislation on things like abortion, and asking me if, I thought that Canada should decouple from the monarchy. Anyway, I was thinking about it. I don't know, maybe I'll respond. And maybe even talk about it on the show more. I know a lot of people want to decouple from the monarchy, but I can also, anyway, I'll get into it another night. A lot of people love to hate the king, the queen, the royal family. Killer alien worms invading America. Sounds like something from outer space. Devastating plants and salamanders. Ravenous alien worms from Asia and Europe. See, not from outer space. Have invaded America and are wreaking havoc on the ecosystem by savaging native plants and animals. And scientists fear the creepy crawlers can't be stopped. This is actually a real study out of Stanford University. And they say 70 species of foreign worms, a whopping 23% of the 308 types of icky critters in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, have now spread to 97% of the soil and are gobbling plants, leading to animal deaths and crop destruction. There's an interesting story. Alzheimer's disease is contagious, according to this report, which cites a new chilling discovery. I'm not sure I believe that. I don't think that's true at all. Pot rots teens' brains. Smoking pot is a dumb move for teens, it says, because cannabis makes them stupid. Well, if they're teens, they're probably stupid already. It kind of just, it's hormones. Insulin prices plummet. I don't think that's true. Scientology horror still haunts Leah Remini. She tried to leave the Church of Scientology. And now she has been, for all these years, I guess, pursued, stalked by people from the Church of Scientology. Says so right there. Oh, you can get a Star Wars clock. Clueless Milano punted again. This is the story about Alyssa Milano right here. Where she did the GoFundMe to raise money for her kid to go to, what was it again? Her 12-year-old son's away baseball games. And then, so she was criticized for that, then ended up taking him to the Super Bowl, where seats cost between $950 to $9,500 each. So she was heavily criticized for that. Presidential pervs exposed by own hands, their lurid love letters and dirty doings. Add Warren G. Harding to the list of horn dog U.S. presidents who couldn't keep it in their pants, it says. Among other entries, a new book on presidential passions steams open. Torrid letters the married 29th Pres sent to his mistress, who later tried to blackmail him with his porno prose and pervy poetry. They also, in this, cite John F. Kennedy as a philanderer and Bill Clinton, who had a bit of a fling, as we know. But he did not have sexual relations with that woman. And Lyndon Johnson, it says here, was said to have played behind Lady Bird's back. Anyway. There's a Whoopi Goldberg story, then there's the horoscope, O.J. Simpson cancer crisis. I guess he has prostate cancer. Says the ex-con's back is against the wall. Black Death hits Oregon. Says here's some guy in Oregon got the bubonic plague, which wiped out nearly half the population of Europe in the 1300s. Now, if that doesn't scare the crap out of you, I don't know what will. Got they calling for masks? I don't know. I don't know. You know what's really important, though? Fallen Idol, blah, 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 blah. Katy Perry leaving the TV competition under dark cloud. Oh, is that right? Is Katy Perry leaving American Idol? Is that right? Mean girl Katy Perry is bolting from American Idol after 7 seasons, moaning she was forced out by backstabbing bigwigs who set her up to look like the evil judge. But insiders say the I Kissed a Girl singer is clueless about how nasty her behavior is on and off camera. Well, I don't really care. Kate and Bogey steam on. Humphrey Bogart as a grumpy boat mechanic and Katharine Hepburn as a missionary turn the tide of global war while steering a pokey steamboat through treacherous. What is this about? Oh, it's a flashback. Okay. Well, that's the way it was back in the day. And that's not news, but that too is unbelievable. I did want to point this out, though. You know, Weekly World News, which I did highlight here on the show some time back about Bat Boy, they are trying to bring Weekly World News back. Here, I will show you. There it is. Right here, let's go to the front page. They've got a Kickstarter thing going on here to try and bring Weekly World News back. They still have this website. They have all these crazy stories. It's fun. You used to get this at the newsstands. Like most printed publications, it went the way of the dodo bird. That being said, they are trying to bring it back here. And here's the, I'll bring up the page. They're looking for to raise about 50 grand to make this happen. Bring back Weekly World News with Kickstarter. Alien approved Kickstarter campaign is launched. And this is news about Weekly World News. Lost Caverns. That's the byline. Weekly World News announces its $50,000 crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter. The purpose is to expand our reporting, graphics, and video production. The Weekly World News Kickstarter campaign is already endorsed by many across the universe. It is easy to see why. Men in Black have always said that Weekly World News is the best investigative journalism on the planet. There's Bat Boy. It's funny. And you can see they have stories about aliens. They have alien encounter fashion tips on there. Female space alien accuses ex-governor of sexual misconduct. Now keep in mind that this is a story from 2022. Asteroid KZZ, depending if you're American or Canadian, 1055 to slam Earth on November 18th. That was October 15th, 2021. Did that happen? I don't think that happened. Let's see if what they reported then was accurate. Let's find out how good Weekly World News really was or is. The asteroid designated KZ-1055 will slam into Earth after passing by our moon. NASA says the asteroid is the size of an aircraft carrier, but astronomers and scientists working in Russia say it's the size of Rhode Island. Some had believed that the asteroid would just pass by, but now it looks like it will hit Earth directly on November 18th. Looks like it might hit somewhere in the Pacific or Oklahoma. Nobody is sure right now. Let's put this in the search and find out what happened. Did it actually hit Earth? Were we aware? Was this just fake news? Here, let's bring up the search. I'll show you what we wound up with. Here we go. New Scientist. Nope. Space Reference. 2014 KZ-45 is a very small asteroid whose orbit crosses the orbit of Earth. NASA JPL has classified it as a potentially hazardous asteroid. Any reports of it actually hitting the Earth? Not that I'm seeing. Nothing. Lunar Meteorite Alpha. No, that's a different one. And there's that story that I just told you about from 2021. Nope. TB-145. Nope, nothing. I don't think it happened. I don't think it's there. Don't think it happened. Fake news alert. Fake news alert. Several years after the fact. Okay. Let's take a look in here and see what's going on in the chat tonight. Hello, Jilly Bean. Hello, Robert. Kim RS blocked me, it says here. No, not on this channel because I don't know. Oh, maybe on somewhere else. I don't know. Yeah, Kim RS doesn't have mod privileges here. SW says Kanye's mouth is a Venus flytrap. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And what else do we have here in the chat? Just scrolling back. I wasn't looking in there earlier. So the larger question, folks, is this the kind of thing you would like to do once in a while? Maybe once a week or once a month, maybe. I don't know how much of this I can take. The celebrity stuff's okay. Probably get some other kinds of crazy Truespiracy news to talk about on the show. Did you guys enjoy it or what? And John says it looks like RV has hit the road. Well, maybe. If he's not here tonight, my guess is he'll be back. I'll just check in on the chat over here. Yeah, let's see what's going on in the chat on the Rumble. Hello, everybody. John says, yes, good stuff. Yeah, I know John likes that stuff. He likes all the crazy, crazy alien news, which is pretty entertaining, I have to admit. And Linda says 10 minutes a week would be good. Yeah, maybe that's about right. 10 minutes a week, once a month. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it was funnier last time. Yeah, this globe was not nearly as good as the last one. The stories weren't as good. I don't think that it was as good. I can just be more careful about those stories that I curate for it, I guess. So it's kind of up to you guys. If you want to continue with this sort of thing, we can talk about it. And Venus Mission says, I think there's way too much fear porn out there. Slowly it's getting thinned out. I absolutely agree with that. There's way, way, way too much of the fear porn. I'm so tired of it. It's because it's just not, it doesn't give us an accurate perspective on things. It really doesn't. I'm so tired of it. This stuff I think is funny. Some of it's downright cruel, just the way they talk about these celebrities, but when you're in the public spotlight like that, I guess you have to expect that to some degree. Yeah, and Linda says the last one was hilarious. It was funnier. Just funnier stories. So it was easier to be funny because it was just funny stuff. Yeah, and Decipher says, yes, it's a good break from the regular BS, yeah. A good place to just kind of let off a little bit of that pressure at the end of the week. So maybe we'll give it a shot again for a couple more episodes and just see how well that goes. Now, that gets us to 7, well, coming up on 8 o'clock. How about I run a couple of transitions here and I'll get the phone lines set up. Do you guys want to go to the phones tonight? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'll set up the phones and be back on the other side of this. Let me get the phone number up on the screen too so you guys know what number to call in on. And there it is, 1-319-527-6770. I'll just start working on it right here. And you guys can join the conversation. Just dial up that number as I get this new episode ready to rock and roll here. I will entertain you with this, and that was Truespiracies. More episodes to come.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals. Defenders of individual rights and freedoms. Credible. Trusted. Grounded in reality. Maverick News. Maverick News. Defending free speech. Free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, and the phone lines are set up and are ready to go. Here's the number. Okay, Mavericks, it's call-in time. Join the conversation. Call now at 1-319-527-6770. That's 1-319-527-6770. Exercise your right to free speech. Call 1-319-527-6770. Call now at 1-319-527-6770. Maverick News. Call now. The world is watching and listening to you. Okay, we're ready to go. I think we have somebody on the line. All right, let's take our first caller of the night. Who do we have on the line? Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, go ahead. You're on the air.
Oh, couldn't hear nothing, Rick. I thought... Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay maybe there. John, how are you tonight, John?
Oh, good. Yeah. So, you got my cup there, I see, tonight. The aluminum cup, you know?
What'd they charge for that at the Scotiabank Arena? Like $100?
They were giving those with the beer, so you got a free cup. I grabbed about, I think I brought home 6 of them. Like, the beers were, I think they were $12 a piece for the beers.
Ouch.
And anyhow, they're good for pencils and pens, but last year that box I sent you was like $12. This year they wanted almost $20 for that.
For shipping, you mean?
Yeah. So cup's not even worth $20. But anyways, I just wanted it. I think it's cool. It's got the Leaf logo and stuff like that. But anyways,
I have my first pen in it tonight. Well, thank you for that. I say I have my first pen in it. You said I could use it to put pens and markers and stuff in.
You need pens?
Well, I have
like
pens.
1,000 pens here.
Oh, I've got pens. It costs you more to ship them than they're worth, John. I have lots of pens. Now I have something to put them in. So now I won't lose them.
Every time I go out, free pens everywhere I go. Yeah. Hey, those protests you're showing on TV, you think they're grassroots, or do you think they're probably funded, eh? Or maybe some are grassroots and some are funded, or
I don't have any inside information. I can only give you my observations. I know that especially early on, we were seeing signs that were professionally made that came out right away, which tells me that those were, organized events. All the years that I was covering a lot of that stuff over the years, you could sort of tell the regular protesters from the people who were just coming up because they were upset about something, because it was always the usual people and pre-made or professionally made signs. They would show up and protest. Mostly those were people on the left side of the political spectrum, but that was back in those days. Things have changed a bit now. You still have those same elements there, but you're getting different political organizations involved now, and you see a lot of the protests are organized, I think, also covertly by unions. That's why they're so good at it, because they picket, they strike, they protest, and they're never in power. So all they do is protest. I called them like professional protesters because they're never in power. They always have something to protest, right? So that's what they do. When you're in power, you don't protest because you don't protest against yourself, right? But these guys are never in power, so they're always protesting. They're really, really, really good at it. But anyhow, yeah. But who knows? A lot of these are huge, though, right? So I think it's more than that. It's organized protests, but it's fueled by funding, and it's also fueled by organization, and I would call it marketing and propaganda, information warfare, sending messaging out to people through social media in order to get them motivated to come out to these protests. And when it's done on a huge mass scale, that tells me usually that there's some sort of foreign government influence in any given country to just create destabilization.
Yeah, that's I agree with that. There's a lot of people in this world that try to disrupt the economy and divide people, and that's what they do. Like, I think China is famous for doing that. A lot of countries.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And the United States does
That's
it
what they
there,
do.
and then those other countries do it over here.
Oh, the States. Why do they stick their nose in? They think they're the king of this world, and they want to make everything. Everybody's got to follow their rules. It's like Russia, for instance. Why are they dictating to Russia? You have to be, this way. This is what you have to be. You got to be a democratic society. You got to do, listen, man. I tell you something. Russia, they have more ethnic groups than any country in the world. They got everybody, every kind of people they have there, every kind of people. If you want to live in Russia, all they want is one rule: you have to love Russia. Okay? You don't go there and love Palestine or Israel or Canada. You got to love Russia. That's all they want from you. Okay? But they have every kind of ethnic group. You'd be surprised. I was watching this show the other day. How many ethnic groups that they have there? It's unreal. They got everybody. You name it, they're there. Everybody's there. They accept everybody. And, you can call them what you want, and Biden could call them what he wants, but, anyways.
I see,
it's
at the end of the day, John, I think people get up and they go to work and they try to earn money and take care of their families, and they go buy their stuff at the store, and if they can have a car in the driveway, that's good. And everybody, I don't see in the end a lot of differences between people and what they want, and even the way that they live. Like, I look at Russia and they have McDonald's, only now it's called something different. They have shopping malls like we have shopping malls. They have places to buy cars like we have places to buy cars. They have just some different brands, and in the end, it is what it is,
Well, they're being sanctioned like crazy, and what people are doing, like, just because they don't want to play their game. Well, Ukraine's. The U.S. BlackRock owns half of Ukraine right now. They're buying up all the land. Ukraine's broke. Ukraine's got no money. They're broke.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, of course they're broke. Yeah.
BlackRock's coming in. Oh, how much do you need? Here's a check for. Put a figure on it. We'll take all this property here. All this farmland's ours now. Okay, we're buying it off you, just like the Chinese are buying Canada land. But the thing is it's a game. This whole thing is a game. But U.S. they stick their nose in everybody's business, and I don't like it. They should just mind their own business, man. If they, if that's the way the country is, and that's their,
So
it's like Canada.
Let me ask you this, John. Would you?
You have to change your ways. We say so. You got to change your ways, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tug of war between right now the countries that want like an international rules-based order, which is to say, rules between countries so that you know what the laws are. But for nationalists or for people who want to preserve just the status quo without an international legal system, then it just becomes countries negotiating with other countries, one-on-one, and trade deals, or maybe as a group, the European Union. So it's just two different ways of trying to approach the world that are at odds with each other. And, I know that Russia had talked about, joining NATO, joining Europe, but they wanted it a particular way, and it wasn't working out. And I think the United States in particular lost an opportunity to help make freedom work after the fall of the Berlin Wall. And, well, NATO continued to expand and shouldn't have done that. Now we have Russia pushing back in a pretty serious way. But the other question, then it becomes a question of sovereignty. And technically, does Ukraine have a right to self-determination? Does Ukraine have a right to exist as its own nation state? It's difficult, and it's because of its position geographically, to maintain some sort of sovereignty, real sovereignty, when it lives right next door to a superpower like that. These are difficult questions. And so now Ukraine is in an existential crisis, which I totally understand. Yet at the same time, I understand that the Russian predicament. They don't want NATO sitting on its doorstep. That's why I've said Ukraine should be a neutral country. Should have been left to be a neutral country. But both Russia and the United States, I think, want control and influence over it. So what does
Trudeau say? What does Trudeau say about Ukraine? They want him to be a sovereign, a democratic. What does he say? He wants Ukraine.
Yeah, he wants Ukraine to. He'll say that they want it to be a democratic, sovereign nation unto itself. Would it end up really being a sovereign country, or would it just be a puppet state of the U.S.? Probably a puppet state. But if it goes the other way, it'll be a puppet state of Russia.
He doesn't mind if they are or not, as long as NATO stays out of there. That's all.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that's what they should. I think you're right on the money there, John. Yeah. And that's the path. That's the path to peace, right there, that you just hit on.
I'm good at figuring things out. There can be a democratic country. Just keep not part of NATO. Pay NATO's out. Okay. Grow your weed. Grow your farms. Grow your cattle. Make money, and that's it. Take care of your people. What do you want to be in? This NATO, anyways, it's garbage. NATO's garbage. It's proven fact.
Well, you've got Sweden in NATO now. You've got Finland, on the NATO list. It's, these are also.
How many countries are paying? No, nobody's paying nothing.
Well, not what they're supposed to.
Hey, what's a free ride? Oh my God. Yeah, Ukraine doesn't have 2 nickels to rub together. They gotta pay. Is he gonna be going around begging for money to pay for NATO? Oh my God.
Well, the war there never had to happen, but it has. And now we're in a real pickle, aren't we? But it's a two-way street, and I think that if
it's over.
I would say that the Putin, if he really just wanted, I think he's probably happy with what he has, the gains that they've made, and maybe he could send a secret pitch to the West and say, hey, if you just let's just stop right now. We'll keep what we have. You keep NATO out. You can put certain kinds of arms in there, but nothing that represents or presents a real serious threat to our national security, but enough so that Ukraine can defend itself to a degree, but it doesn't join NATO, because of course you've got that provision with NATO that an attack on one is an attack on all. You don't want that. Not with a country that's sitting right there and is in such a vulnerable place next to a superpower, next to Russia, because you don't want to get into a NATO conflict with Russia. I don't know. And then on the other side, the West should say, yeah, okay, they won't join NATO. We'll let you keep Crimea, keep the Donbass, keep the territories you have. We'll just stop right here. But Ukraine remains intact. Other than that, because the country's been wrecked. It's got a long road back to recovery. That's the path to peace right there.
Yep.
No, there's no need for it to go on any
Yep.
further. You know, there. That's
It's
the
over
solution.
anyways. From what I hear, it's over. It's all done.
I don't believe that.
no
You know,
chance.
I think, you know, I don't think it's over because the
I heard
West,
it's
this
over.
West, I know that's what we keep hearing from Ritter and Colonel McGregor, but they were saying that, you know, a year and a half ago. So I don't think so because the West is going to dump more money in there and more arms. And that will keep it going for a while. I don't know that it can. I'm not saying Ukraine's going to win the war. I'm just saying the West, they're not done funneling money over to it. And this is an election year. Biden doesn't want to lose that war when he's running for re-election. The Democrats don't want to lose. They don't want that to happen while they're in an election cycle. So I don't think it's quite over yet. I think it's going to drag on.
I hear it's over.
It could be. I mean, if they don't get the money and the supplies over there in time,
Even if they
they
get
could
the
roll
money,
over.
they don't. Hey, you said so yourself. They got a bunch of 45-year-old soldiers. You can't win a war with 45-year-old soldiers. You need young,
Yeah, I don't.
teenagers.
I'll put it to you
young
this.
people.
Yeah, let me put it to you this way. They're at a place where they're in a defensive position, and what Ukraine is probably going to do at this point now is they'll take orders from the U.S. They won't give up. They'll keep on grinding it out, and they'll resort to sort of isolated attacks. They'll go to more like undercover, covert, special operations to like hit them with like bee stings or mosquito bites, like we saw even overnight again in Crimea. You know, some drone attacks over there just to just cause damage, cause problems. Not to say that it's going to be a really effective. They're going to switch from the ground war to more like I don't want to say, just those kinds of tactics, sabotage, stuff like that. I think that's what you're going to end up seeing. And then it'll be a question of can they hold on long enough for more aid, military aid to come, or foreign aid of other kinds. You're going to see it's going to change from this, you know, munitions-based, ground-based kind of war to more drone attacks, more missile attacks. That's why you're seeing this commitment to sending, I don't know how many, a million drones or something like that. So it's going to be more based on the technology instead of the manpower. Instead of use a meat grinder where you're sending soldiers, you know, to run into gunfire and munitions. I think you're going to see more drones, more technology used, just to drag the thing out. That's me as a layman, and I'm who am I, right? I'm not a military expert. I just follow politics a little bit, and as I look at the money, I see the ramp up of munitions manufacturing that has been taking place over the last year in the U.S. to make more shells and things like that. I see the commitment to sending huge numbers of drones over, huge numbers. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. That's what I'm basing it on. And if with you know, this $3 billion that Trudeau just committed, that's like a stopgap until they get the Republicans back on side in the U.S. to get that, what was it, $60 billion approved in funding. But that could be weeks away. Now, if Russia's smart, if Putin is smart, he would go in there like a steamroller right now and just go and just end it, right? If he was really smart. And he is smart. But does he want to do that? I don't know. Depends on what his real objectives are. So,
I'm looking at this map.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this map, and around Donbass,
the Donbass,
whatever.
yeah.
That's where all the fighting is right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fights, and then there's a lot of NATO's already in there. They got pretty well you got Britain, France. They're all there. Italy. But who said that? Great Britain. they're saying it's not called Great Britain no more. It's called Britain. It's not great anymore. They're saying.
Okay.
But it could explode. You're right. You know, you could be right there, Rick.
Yeah, I could be wrong too, John. It would be very easy for me to be wrong. Very easy.
I don't know. Hey, listen. On the Rumble there.
Yeah.
You know the thumbs down?
Yeah. Okay.
There's 3 wankers who thumbs down. Do you know who they are? The 3 wankers?
I don't know.
I think I know 2 of them.
Okay.
I think I know 2 of them, anyways.
All right.
But you don't know who they are. You can't see that you're in, can you?
No, I know. I don't even look to see who gives me a thumbs down. If they want to give me a thumbs down, they can.
3 wankers did.
3 wankers? Okay.
You got
All
up
right.
there.
Good.
You got 42 thumbs up. Oh, now you got 5. 5 wankers. I refreshed it.
Oh, there's 5. Oh, there's 2 more. Anybody? I'm looking now. Now you've got my attention. Can we go for 6? We have 5. Go for 6. 5. Go for 6. 6 thumbs down. 6. And can we go straight to 7? Come on. Going for 6. Going for 6. 6 thumbs down. No, I don't know. I don't know. Kind of clicking on it here. I just gave myself a thumbs down. No, I'm gonna have to go with a thumbs up. I gave myself a thumbs up.
There you go.
I gave myself a thumbs down, John. Oh
you
no!
You can't hate someone that much, man. Man, oh man! Come on, people. I know you hate. Some people hate his guts, but. Just fucking move on. Go. Move on. There's a lot of shows out there. Man, oh man.
That's
you're gonna have an ulcer worrying about this guy so much. Life's too short, man. Me, if I hate somebody, I just see you later, buddy. I don't want to see him again. I won't confront them. I won't call them. I want nothing to do with it. I don't want to see their face. See you later. That's what I do. But some people, they have to harp and complain and complain. I won't even talk about the person unless they bring it up. I'll just say, he's a-hole. I don't want to talk about him.
Yeah, whatever.
But
it's okay.
I know.
I got 6. We're going for 7. Women. We're going for 7 thumbs down.
Women, man, holy Christ! You get on our bad side with a woman, they'll bring this stuff back up 10 years ago to run and rub it in your face. They're like evil. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I just kind of laugh and shake my head, and I go, "Really? 10 years ago?"
Well, look, man. Like I know. And I've had people messaging like, "Rook, I can't get through to you on Facebook." Yeah, I know. I've been telling you here for like yesterday. They managed to get our Facebook page taken down. These people who hate us. So I don't have Facebook anymore. They had a whole campaign on.
Did you figure out how that happened or what?
Yeah, I know exactly how it happened. I do. I've had some people telling me exactly what's been going on. I know exactly who it was, and I know how. So I don't have Facebook. Okay. And they're like, "Rick, I can't message you." Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I can't even message back to tell you why you can't message me. It's because I have no access to the Facebook pages. They're still like there, but people have minimal, can't really see them and stuff. And I have 0 access. I can't, like, it's blocked. Facebook has cut me right off. I can't post. I can't even see Facebook. I can't go on Facebook at all. I can't even get on Facebook, let alone message people back or post anything. I have 0 access. I'm banned for life.
For
on
life?
Facebook. For life. That's what the messages are. Permanent ban. Not allowed to be on Facebook. Good job.
Serious?
Oh, yes, I am serious. I'm 100% serious.
Man.
Here.
No one. When I started this computer business about 35 years ago, Rick, I was hooked to Facebook.
Yeah.
Back then, oh yeah, I was hooked to Facebook. It was totally different than now. You can say whatever you want. It was cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then all the old fogies started going on there, and I said, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
cool anymore.
Here, I just see when I go on Facebook, I just get this now.
It's for old people.
Yeah, I just get this message that's going to pop up on the screen. That's what I get when I try to go on Facebook. Because I got a permanent ban. So they're saying I can send them an email because I did appeal it. But so now they're saying, okay, we got your information for your appeal. I have to go through a whole process to get my permanent ban removed. I don't know if I'll be successful or not. So that's what I'm dealing with.
Well, congratulations on your 500,000 on YouTube. Anyway.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good achievement.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get that on Facebook, eh?
Not anymore. No.
They just smear you.
Yeah. So
Somebody
that was on just one of our channels.
Talk about
so
Gaza.
that was pretty cool. Do we have to? Do we have to talk about? Can we talk about something else? I don't want to talk about it any. I wish I'd never talked about it ever again for as long as I live.
I got just one question. One question. Do you think they're going to make a deal? That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think they will. I think so.
Okay, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think so. I think that Israel knows that they have a big PR problem with this. They shouldn't have gone in hard the way they did. Miscalculation, but I understand what's going on, and I'm trying to see it from both sides and trying to sort of stay neutral on the whole thing. It's just the grossest, most terrible, awful thing I think that has ever happened, and I hate talking about it because it just drags us all down into a real negative place. I hate it. I just hate talking about it. It's awful.
You know why that happened?
I don't want to talk about it anymore. La 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 la. I don't want to talk about it. Like I.
All right.
Okay, let's just talk about something else. That's why I did this whole thing tonight, John, with this because it was just every day, and then I had to talk about it tonight because of all the protests. So I acknowledged that it happened. I showed you what was going on, but I mean, my God, we're not going to solve this here tonight. And we've talked about that. Can we just talk about something else?
That English guy with the glasses, that one, you say he's a far right, far left brain.
The communist, what did I call him? The far right communist. Yeah, George Galloway. Yeah.
I used to watch a show.
Yeah.
I watched the show like last week.
Yeah.
The guy, I like him. I like that guy.
Of course you do.
I like what he talked about.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I figured you
ever watched him?
I've watched him.
You ever watched the show?
I've seen him. I don't watch him a lot, but I've watched him. I know who he is. I know what he's about. Yeah.
Well, I just seen a couple of his shows. He's got some good, interesting points, and but it seemed like I like the guy. I don't know. Everybody says he's so bad, but he's gonna make Great Britain change the name to just Britain. I mean, he's not so great again anymore. Not so great. I was at a couple of nights ago, Friday night, Lee's Palace. It's a bar. It's a big nightclub on Bloor Street there, and this band was there. They're from Australia. They just got here from Australia, and they're touring just a little bit here, but they're going back to Germany. They're Germany and all Czech. They're really big there. But I know these guys. I've met them, a dozen times. They know me, and I hung around with them. But man, those Aussies, man, do they like to drink there, Rick? And swear. Oh my God. They were, but they're a lot of fun guys, and they're good musicians. But I don't know. They're staying at Welland. They're staying at some house there for now until they go out to Europe. But yeah, they don't like Trudeau. It's true, though.
Yeah.
No, they don't like them either. I asked them, but yeah. Anyways, it's you know what, Rick? Life's short. Enjoy yourself, because you might not be around tomorrow. The way things are going, you never know what's going to happen, eh?
That is right.
So,
That's right. That's right.
So, and I'm surprised you don't have a doctor.
Why?
What's so hard about getting a doctor? You want me to give you a number where you can just look one up?
I already know
get
that, they in this town, there just aren't any family doctors that are taking patients.
They have to take you.
Well, I go to a walk-in clinic here. I haven't had a family doctor in years.
Yeah, the walk-in clinic, same thing, but you can become a regular there, right? They get your
No,
file.
because there's only one walk-in clinic, and it's like a telehealth thing. So like you go in, and it's like a video conference, and I talk to a doctor in Toronto over a screen. That's what is available to me here. Yeah.
That's.
And I have to pay $15 every time I go.
I went to my doctor last week. I phoned them up. I said, I'm coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Can I come in today? Yeah. I'll be there by noon. Okay.
Yeah.
Went in there. And I said, I got this issue. I'd like to see a specialist for both. Can you make me an appointment? And I wanted somebody good, I said. I don't want no guy out of school.
I don't want like the King Charles cancer quack guy. I want a good doctor.
So yeah, I got one called already on Friday or Thursday, and I have an appointment to go in March, and I got the other one hasn't called me back yet. And you know, Rick, I go and I know right from wrong, and like right now I'm on a health binge because a lot of the health issues is what you eat, right?
Yeah.
It's simple, and one of the main thing is you gotta your weight's gotta be, I should weigh 150 pounds, 160 max, so I'm a little bit overweight, which that's what gives you diabetes, gives you high blood pressure, gives you all kinds of problems. And, this is the problem with people. You have to bring your weight down. And anyways, you know that. Mm-hmm. Look, you look like you're in good shape anyways. I don't think you need a doctor. So, yeah.
We'll see.
Anyhow.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll
see. Time will tell.
But. Yeah. You got anybody else on the lines? I
do, sir. Yep, we're going to move on. Thank you, John, for calling tonight.
Okay, Rick. Nice talking to you,
All
and
right.
have a good time.
And
Bye.
cheers with my pen cup. All right, let's move on to the next caller. Okay, go ahead. Who's on the line? Hello, go ahead.
Hello?
Hello. Who do we have?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're a little garbled, but I can hear you. Chris, how are you tonight?
Oh, yeah, because you're kind of broken up too here in this call.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the audio is okay.
Okay, so question. So this is an international call. So do we get charged long distance fees, or is this still toll free?
I honestly, Chris, I don't know. It's a totally new system. It's a 319 number.
Yeah, it comes up as an international call.
Mm-hmm. So I suppose it would depend on your phone package now that you bring it up. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm only good for across Canada.
I see.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll make it quick.
Yeah.
A couple things here. I was wondering if you could do a show one night and talk about this bill that Trudeau's planning on bringing in, because a lot of people are talking about it. You know, the one where he wants you could be arrested if you if someone thinks you're gonna hate speech in that, there's a lot of people really concerned about that. Like it's like almost like the top of everybody's mind right now. It's very scary.
Yeah, this is the Online Harms Act, which I did mention it a couple of times in the past week. I know what you're talking about, yes.
Yeah, so a lot of people are, like it's I don't know. To me, this is totally wrong. The government should not be allowed to do this. I'm hoping it doesn't pass because, I mean, how can you just assume that somebody, I think you're going to do a hate speech, and the police show up at your door? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are our rights? What happened to them? Where are they gone? So this is very concerning, not just to me, but to my family, to friends. It's a big conversation right now out there that people are talking about. People are very worried about it. And I think we all have a right to be.
Yes.
Right? And so I think it should be kind of a top priority, kind of a bit of a news. I mean, I guess, I don't know when it's supposed to get passed. I don't know, is it this week or next week, or is it before the House already?
Well, I don't know what the timeline is on this. It's a bill at this point. It's not the law. It's an act. Let me just see if I can find out. It's at first reading, so it still has to go through second, third reading.
Okay.
It'll get to the report stage, then third reading, and then at that point it could potentially be passed into law. How long it will take, don't know. Will it happen before we have an election? I don't know. There's no specific, dating on any of this timeline. It also has to go to the Senate, then it has to go for royal assent after that. So, if they could fast track it if they want to, I don't know. I don't think there's any way for us to really know what the timeline is on it. It's first reading, so now we've seen it. We know what it is. We know what the dangers are, the threats.
Right.
I did talk about it. It's a piece of proposed legislation that masks what its true intent is, I think, with a lot of talk about dealing with online child pornography, when in reality, I think that it is aimed at curtailing or controlling political speech, political information online, anti-government stuff. I think it's, some of this stuff is open to interpretation, and I do think that it represents another affront to free speech, and the areas that it purports to target are areas that are already covered, I think, adequately with our existing laws. Even the laws that we had a couple of years ago were adequate to deal with a lot of that stuff, before the other pieces of legislation because we've had two other pieces of legislation pass into law, right? That resulted in news content being taken down on Facebook, all that stuff, and the ramifications of that and of this are yet to be seen, really, because we'll see how the government ends up using it as a tool over time as they go after people or target somebody or charge somebody. Who knows how they'll actually put it into action. So I share your concerns.
Wow.
Absolutely, as someone in media.
Yeah, they're definitely. Yeah, well, they're definitely trying to silence us. And I had someone say to me the other day, well, if this has got to do with hate speeches and stuff like that, then the first person that should be arrested should be Trudeau, because he started it with the truckers and hasn't stopped since, if you think about it.
Oh, no question. I mean, there's a
on the convoy.
That's the thing. Like, what constitutes hate speech? How do you define it? And we've seen the government itself. We've seen Trudeau stand up there and spout off with language that could be defined that way.
Yeah, it's awful. And as far as doctors goes, so we have two little clinics in our town here, but we have doctors leaving, and so other doctors have to take on the patients. So now you're at almost a 2 month waiting period. or more to see a doctor here. So it's getting, a lot of doctors are leaving.
Are you talking just 2 months to see a family
They're
doctor?
done, right?
2 months to get in to see a family doc?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I make appointments with my doctor, I have to make them. What I do is mine now is I make it every month ahead, because if not, it's 2 to 3 months before you can actually get in to see them. Well, people are sick; they need to see them now, not in 2 or 3 months down the road.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like so healthcare is definitely eroding. As I told you on the phone that time I was talking to you about my son, the only good thing that's happened is he went to see a physiotherapist and the other day, and they went to turn his neck, and while he was holding his neck, he lost vision in his eye.
What?
And he had to sit there. Whatever the nerve was that they hit in his neck, he lost vision in his eye, and he had to sit in the physio's office for quite a while, and eventually it kind of came back. So now he's going to write a letter to my son's family doctor saying that you need to start looking at the neck, the back, that could be causing all these issues for him, because it's getting very serious now. So I'm hoping that his family doctor is going to, well, it's not really his family doctor, but this doctor he's seeing, because like I told you, he's talking of doing the other, right? And he's too young for that. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, healthcare is terrible. I'm not going to lie. It's horrible. So if anybody in the States thinks it's really great, it's not. It's not. Yeah. Like I have friends in the States, and they have insurance and stuff, and, they get in to see their doctors a heck of a lot faster, specialists, everything. Yeah. Not here. You wait. Yeah. And you wait.
You wait. Yep.
And by the time you wait, so it's not good all the way around. Yeah. It really isn't. But basically, that's kind of all. I basically called in tonight because I'm really concerned about that bill, and everybody's talking about it, right? So it's kind of scary. It's like, oh my God, and I don't know. Other than that, well, we had lots of snow here yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that you guys did have quite a bit out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, someone said today, well, the Alberta government must have put a deposit on holding the snow off for the winter, and they must have paid it off, because boy, did we get it. We got probably 40 centimeters yesterday. Mm-hmm. And my neighbor, thank goodness, he's such a great guy, and he's got a snow blower, and he came and he did all my whole, he texted me, he said, I'm coming over, don't get out there shoveling, and he did all around, and there's so much snow, there's seriously, there's no more room to put anymore. It's crazy. We had none all February, and then we get this. So it's crazy. So, I know you guys are basking in nice temperatures, but we want to share, so we're going to send it your way. Okay?
You say that, and I think that you are just jinxing me because it has been beautiful, and I'm just waiting for the, I'm just waiting to pay the bill on this, because something bad's really gonna have to happen. It can't be this nice and just go right into summer. Not for this length of time. We're gonna have to get walloped with a massive storm of some kind. It's coming.
Well, and that's what I mean. We had it. December was really good. January was good, and then whammo! It's just someone opened the skies, and it's oh my God, nonstop yesterday. It's I think it was 11 o'clock before it stopped last night. I'm going, oh my God, I can't even see my yard anymore. It's filling up and filling up. It was really pretty today. The sun was out, though, and you go out and you see all this beautiful snow. But, when you have to clean it up, it's not. Trying to get out of my back alley, oh my God, if I stop, I'm done. I got to keep going. Yeah, so you're going to get your turn. Trust me, you will.
Well, thanks, Chris. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Well, you guys don't want wildfires down there, do you? We need some moisture. Actually, it's really good, because we really needed it out here.
Yes, that's true.
Every little bit of moisture you can get is good, right?
Yes.
We don't want another season like what we went through last.
No.
We went across Canada. Yeah, we don't. So, I mean, I know you guys got lots of rain down there in certain areas, and then that's good too. That's all good moisture.
Yeah.
You just can't snowmobile in it. Like people are bombing around in snowmobiles around here because our streets aren't done because we're a town and the town's not open on the weekends, right? So it's a free for all.
I would not want to be a snowmobile dealer here anymore. I just yeah.
No. Oh man.
Some winters we've had a fair bit of snow. Just lately, just last couple of years, not so much. But a few years ago we got really hammered with a lot of snow. So it just depends on the year. This has been the mildest that I can remember.
Well, didn't we have El Nino? Is it El Nino? Or
El Nino?
Is that what we had this year? That's why it's been so mild. Yeah, is that what we had? And then the other one's the nasty one that gives you lots of nasty weather, right?
What do you mean? I don't know what the name. Yeah. Whatever.
Well, yeah, one gives you nice weather, and one gives you really crappy weather. So.
Well,
I don't know. Either, I guess
Yeah. Well, hang in
we're
there.
In March and spring's coming, so.
Yeah, spring is coming.
Oh yeah, we'll survive. Yeah. It is. All right, Rick, I'll let you go. But yeah, so if you hear any more, definitely on that bill, please let us know what's going on.
Yep. I mean, if you wanted, we could go over it. If it just, sometimes that stuff gets a little dry as you're reading through a bill and trying to analyze it, right?
Well,
but I did look at it a bit the other night. I just didn't want to drag on about it with people and put them to sleep.
Yeah.
But it is a major concern.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand. But yeah, I just think a lot of people aren't really sure what's going on with it, or they're just not fully understanding it. Because I thought it was supposed to be for children, but obviously this is not for the children.
Yeah.
This is for other things as well, right?
Goes beyond that.
Not good.
Yeah, it goes beyond.
And one last thing, does Trudeau deserve what he got? As much as I'm against all this Palestinian and all these protests, I think it's hilarious that they never got to go to the reception. It looks good on him because he's letting these continue. He's not doing nothing about it. So it's on him.
Well, it is the federal government's policies that have brought us to this point, I would say.
Yeah.
No question.
Yep, and the police aren't doing nothing about it.
Yeah,
you don't see them really stopping them. So, Anyways, Rick, you have a good night. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Okay, folks.
Bye-bye.
Take care. See ya. All right. Just going to bring that to a close over there.
Thank you for using Blog Talk.
Okay. So, we're going to wrap that up. I just wanted to say, as well, as I get all those thumbs down, guys, a special request for all of the Mavericks out there. And specifically for my friend Leo. As you go to his channel or you interact with him in the other chats, watch over him, take care of him. He's our friend. Still. Enough said. See you guys back here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.